Warning, what you are about to watch is probably some really dumb opinions by me, Ace, as we are going to go on a journey where I review every single major wrestling show that has to do with the biggest show of the year in WWE. That's right, this is Ace's Road to WrestleMania. It is the Raw after the Royal Rumble. It is on the journey of Ace's Road to WrestleMania, our first Monday Night Raw review in this series. I'm Ace, and yeah, we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw. Welcome in, guys. Early birds in the chat. Shout out to Rod Kipp. Shout out to Nikki Fox, already in there. Hello, guys. I know at least one of you watched Raw live, but even if you didn't watch Raw, I'm going to recap the whole thing for you. We can talk about it, have a little discussion, and yeah, we will get into it. So, for those of you who don't know, the Royal Rumble was yesterday. Our winners, the women's Royal Rumble winner, Charlotte Flair, and the men's Royal Rumble winner, Jey Uso, did both make appearances tonight. And yes, it is very red tonight here on the red brand. Yeah, it's going to be... I wonder how many times I'll accidentally say Monday Night Raw in this series when I review Raw. And yes, this of course is Monday. If you have any shock wrestling questions pertaining to the events of Monday Night Raw tonight, I will answer them to the best of my ability. But let's get into it. Raw started with a exactly 10-minute entrance of Jey Uso, and I know that because at 8:10 I tuned into Monday Night Raw tonight, and Jey Uso just got into the ring, but it didn't matter. It was a celebration. He won the Rumble. The haters online could hate. Jey Uso is your Rumble winner. I was happy. He looks psyched, man. I'm glad the internet backlash, whatever you want to call it, doesn't seem to be really affecting him. Yeah. Happy for Jey here. He deserves it. He deserved that win. Cut a really cool promo, pretty generic babyface promo, but it got the crowd hyped for the night. A perfect way to start Monday Night Raw. And then he's interrupted by Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, potentially one of Jey Uso's opponents at WrestleMania. So they go a little back and forth. Gunther, being like yada yada yada. Heel guy saying Jey doesn't really deserve it or whatever. Gunther rather face somebody of higher market value. Gunther is pretty much playing the role of the internet here, who doesn't think Jey Uso should have been on the Royal Rumble winning side of things. So that happens. Jey Uso kind of says, kind of F off. He's going to go talk to Cody on SmackDown, because I guess they're going to do that now. They used to do this back in the day when there were multiple world champions. I remember in 2007 when Undertaker won the Royal Rumble, they actually teased that he might challenge Bobby Lashley for the ECW title. Like, that was a real tease. I remember they had a segment on Raw where they had John Cena, who was the WWE champion, which, of course, could a possible opponent for The Undertaker. And then you had the World Heavyweight Champion Batista, who Undertaker did choose that year. And then you had ECW Champion Bobby Lashley. They really wanted us to believe Bobby Lashley was going to beat Undertaker. And we, of course, know that did not happen. But yeah, they're probably going to do this for a week or two. We got Elimination Chamber still and everything. So we kind of got to wait, see what Jey decides. I assume John Cena will win the Elimination Chamber and go against Cody. It's my current projection into the world title scene. And I honestly think the Jey Uso stuff, could he just face Gunther one-on-one? He could. Even before the Jey Uso winning controversy, I guess you would say. I was honestly thinking it could be a multi-match main event. We could be looking like a fatal four-way with all of the main event Raw guys, and I'm talking like Drew, Punk, Rollins, all fighting for the world title. Hell, even a six-pack challenge. I don't know, and it could still all end with Jey Uso winning. This, I don't know. It feels like we could be looking at a multi-person match for the World Heavyweight Championship. There seems to be no clear guy. I just I can't see them running back Jay versus Gunter again, just one on one. I feel like they got to trick up their sleeves, much like last year with the Cody Rock stuff. I think we're going to see it more on the World Heavyweight Championship side, a little more dramatic, if you will, a little more soap opera of what could happen there, and I don't mind that at all. It's good TV, keeps the weekly show interesting, it keeps Netflix interesting. But that's all, that's all speculation. But it would not surprise me if the Jey Uso stuff ended in a multi-man match. Moving on though, we had Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta next. Always fun seeing Penta in action. Big Ludwig Kaiser fan. They had a quick little match. Very competitive. Two in-ring guys. The interesting part was Pete Dunne coming out. Now Pete Dunne is British and has had a rivalry with Gunter, then Walter, back in NXT. Maybe this is hinting at Pete Dunne joining forces with Ludwig Kaiser, either joining Imperium or the two of them break off from Gunter. Just happy to see Pete Dunne on TV. I think he's a great talent that hasn't really been used all that much. He did it. I mean, the R-Truth rivalry was funny. That R-Truth kept calling him Butch, but it's also like we could do more with Pete Dunne, you know? Oh, forgot. I was gonna make this tradition. A beverage of the night is just a Coke Zero lime flavor, lemon lime flavor, and the shirt of the night is Shrek and Donkey. Forgot to say that in the beginning. Uh, Ludwig more like Looswig, says Rod Kip. We love that. Good one. But yeah, glad excuse me, glad Pete Dunne is in some kind of an interesting rivalry moving forward, perhaps. Perhaps. We had Finn backstage. He is blaming Dom for JD McDonough's injury. If you missed it last week, JD had a gnarly injury off of the announce table, and he said on social media he's good. Well, he's injured, but he's not dead. That's good. And here's what I noticed. Can you turn up the volume a little bit? No. God, now I remembered why I hate being live. Because of people like that. No, I'm kidding. All right, that should be good. Well, it's as high as I go, so deal with it. Um, for you, Rod Kip. For you, Rod Kip, sure. But we turned up the volume just for my theory that in the background, I think they were playing Dom versus Damian Priest, but also Braun Breaker was there. Could we be seeing Dom versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber? Is that what they could be hinting? I don't know. Usually it's just normal matches, but it's interesting they chose the Elimination Chamber venue and everything. I don't know. Triple H is big on those background things. I wouldn't mind that. Dom going after a singles title. I think I kind of want Dom to win. I think Dom as Intercontinental Champion sounds interesting. All right, if the volume sounds good, that's good. Then we had a Charlotte promo, your winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. She comes out pretty much the same exact thing as Jey Uso because Rhea Ripley comes out. They talk about their past. They tease a potential Mania match. But I think we all know we already saw Rhea versus Charlotte. I don't think that's happening again at WrestleMania. We're probably getting Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte, which I like that. You have one Rumble winner in Jey Uso that's probably going after the Raw title, and then you have another Rumble winner in Charlotte going after the SmackDown title. That's nice because then Elimination Chamber could kind of be a little all over the place with the different brands. I like when it's not just one brand that wins the Rumble. Makes things, I don't know, to me more interesting. But yeah, really not much there. Cool that Charlotte won. Um, I there was a TMZ report today that Charlotte and Andrade have a divorce. Don't really have much to comment there. I'm not TMZ. I don't really care. But there you go. That happened. But I thought I'd mention it because it was major news today. Sami Zayn was backstage. I wrote down confronting, but it wasn't really confronting. Jey Uso apologized for accidentally hitting Sami. Sami hugged him and was like, "No problem. Congrats on the Rumble win and all that." They were being boys, and they walk away. Karrion Kross is there, teasing something with Sami Zayn, which I guess did pay off towards the end. Maybe Karrion Kross knew Kevin Owens was there backstage or something. Maybe they're almost like a comic book universe, right? And these characters are interacting. It's not just strict storylines with each other. They can interwove, and maybe there is a Karrion Kross and Kevin Owens connection there, similar to what Karrion Kross did with the New Day. Speaking of the New Day with a brand new theme and attire. I get it now. They're weebs and they're heels. As glad Rock Kip is here because the New Day, it came out in new attire, very anime based. I'm just gonna say, which is cool. The gear looked cool. It's in the style of things that they like, and that's always the best part of pro wrestling is when you could show a more elevated version of yourself, right? And if that's what they're into and that's what they embrace, that's really cool. But they're heels. They're getting booed. The New Day, of course, really talked some smack to Big E. Kofi Kingston said, and I quote, "You broke your neck, so what?" So that was pretty funny. Yeah, and they took on Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. This match was hinted a couple weeks ago, where Rey challenged New Day to a tag team match, and then they dropped it. So I'm not sure if this was supposed to be Penta, and they decided instead for Penta to have a one-on-one match against Chad Gable. But either way, the match finally happened, and Rey's partner turned out to be Dragon Lee. Not completely fine with seeing Dragon Lee on my TV. We love that. Oh, sorry guys, 1 second. Dragon Lee and Rey wrestled, and the New Day actually picked up the win with a help from Logan Paul. How the hell was Kevin Owens able to walk? Dude, that's very true. I mean, he barely walked when we first saw him. Kevin looked rough. But the New Day, shout out, welcome in Earl. Thank you for coming in. I believe you showed up to our Rumble review yesterday or on Saturday, so thank you for joining us once again, my dude. But yes, the New Day actually won a match finally. If you're going to introduce new heels, they need to win matches, and they did. The New Day won, and thanks to Logan Paul. I did have it here. New Topps cards. WWE recently had a deal with the Topps company that makes trading cards, and they introduced new Royal Rumble ones. One of them was Braun Breaker literally lifting up speed, and then I think one of them was Charlotte and Jey Uso pointing at their respected WrestleMania signs, having their moment. And Michael Cole pulled a CM Punk auto during the Rumble pre-show. I think it was Michael Cole or somebody did. And so if you're into trading cards, you could buy them online now, I believe. I was thinking of buying a pack and maybe opening them one as a video on the channel. Let me know if that interests anybody. That could be fun. But yeah, just found that interesting. That because I did hear the news WWE did recently sign like an exclusive deal with Tops or something. So there you go. Next, we had an Elimination Chamber qualifying match with Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. I know a lot of people, especially a lot of people watching right now, really wanted Io Sky to win this match. And they found a way to at least protect her. Before this, there was a backstage segment where Rhea and Io were attacked by Liv Morgan and Raquel, which of course angered Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley comes down. She is meant to attack Liv, and she does, but that causes a disqualification because the referee saw the hit, and that means your winner is Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan qualified for the Elimination Chamber. So yes, you protect Io Sky in this scenario, but now you've reignited to the Liv Morgan and Rhea rivalry, which everyone was done with back on the first Netflix episode. Nobody was really looking forward to run that back. And then does Io still find a way to get in? I hope. It just seemed like overbooking at its finest. What up, Animus? Thank you for joining. We had a Viking Raiders backstage segment. The Viking Raiders look a lot better with those tag titles than some of the other teams. I think because they're just big guys, and that middle section of the belt, the middle plate, is just huge because it's supposed to represent like the world tag team titles. So they're supposed to look like the big gold. The belts look a lot better on them. They don't look as cartoonish like when it was on JD and Finn. No offense against those guys, but they're small dudes. American Made interrupts them. American Made, the Creed brothers won a title shot, so I'm sure that will be a future match on Raw. Can't really see that going on a pay-per-view or anything, but could be a solid Raw match. And we had Seth Rollins segment. Well, before that, or after that. Oh, Seth Rollins came out, I believe. And then it was announced that AJ Styles has been the final transfer window pick, trade, whatever you want to call it, to Monday Night Raw. So AJ Styles back on the red brand. I think that makes a lot of sense. He kind of already did his rivalry with Cody. Do AJ Styles versus Gunther. Here's my money. Take it now. I will watch that match. Run it in Toronto. Elimination Chamber. Styles versus Gunther would be great. Hell, maybe Styles is just World Heavyweight Champion. Screw it. Would not mind that at all. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So there's a Seth Rollins promo talking about Roman Reigns, yada, 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 picking up, obviously setting up some kind of rivalry with Roman. Sami Zayn comes out. Seth hypes up Sami for his match against CM Punk. And as Seth is walking out, CM Punk's music hits. Seth and Punk have a little interaction. Much like Liv and Rhea, I kind of thought that rivalry was kind of over. Not over, but shelved. I thought we could just set that rivalry over there for a second, and we could run it back when one of them's champion. But no, they're still doing it for some odd reason. They're still going through it, and it's fine, I guess. It's not the biggest thing and not the biggest deal in the world. It's not as annoying as Liv and Rhea, so there's that. Punk and Sami have a great main event. Honestly, a stellar main event on Raw. This is what you need on Netflix. You just need some good ass wrestling. This really was, and there was a moment where I thought Sami was going to win at the end, but he goes for the haluva kick, and Punk counters into a GTS as Sami's running for the haluva kick. I believe Punk catches him into a GTS. They kind of did this sequence twice but it ends with CM Punk doing the GTS 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is qualified in the Elimination Chamber, and that means, fellas and ladies, that Punk and John Cena will be in a match together. They'll both be in the chamber. That is, oh, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Those two guys running it back, even if it's in a little, even if it's in a little sequence a little bit there. I'm all for that. So the Elimination Chamber is possibly going to be the most stacked chamber ever. So my theory is that it's going to be, you got Punk and Cena in there, probably Rollins, probably Drew, and then you could also have Roman in there, possibly, and then probably the sixth one is probably like Logan Paul. But stacked chamber. I believe Logan Paul is going to face Rey Mysterio in a chamber qualifying match next week, hence why Logan Paul interfered in Mysterio's tag team match against the New Day tonight. But then, out of nowhere, a guy who we all thought was going to be kayfabe injured and maybe out for a little bit, Kevin Owens, comes through the ring. Now, surprising for a lot of reasons, Cody Alabama slammed that dude through a ladder, and they really played it off like the guy was like severely hurt. And he's also a SmackDown superstar, so if I was going to see Kevin Owens, I thought it was going to be on Friday. So Kevin Owens comes out, attacks the man, his friend, Sami Zayn, the man that was, making sure he was okay at the Rumble after the Alabama Slam spot, and hits that nasty pile driver on him, the same one that he did on Cody at Saturday night's main event, and essentially starting a feud with Sami Zayn. You know what? I said in a predictions video, a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens WrestleMania match for the title doesn't really interest me, but it's very possible they're going to do this match at Elimination Chamber with it being in Toronto, which Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are both Canadian. So for some, maybe they could figure out a reason why they would do that match early, or that's just the WrestleMania match for one of them. And hey, it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They had a Mania match back in 2021, but it was kind of like, it was almost like the celebrity match because Logan Paul was interfering. This is before Logan Paul became an actual wrestler, and Logan Paul was kind of a part of it all. It was this whole thing. It was during the VKM regime, so Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' characters were a bit more goofy. Now we've to a point where they're a lot more serious, and yeah, would not mind these versions of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going at it at WrestleMania. I just didn't think there was enough heat for a championship to be on the line, specifically a world championship. I mean, we're then talking about a main event match, and I don't think that rivalry could do that right now. But if they do like a gimmick match, put them in like an Extreme Rules match or something, that could be a lot of fun. But yeah, Kevin Owens, who we all thought was beat up, looks like is still staying here, and he took down Sami Zayn, and that was Raw. A nice 2.5 hour Raw. If this becomes the usual runtime for a Netflix Raw, I got no problem with that. I think I think that's perfectly fine. The show was really good. It kind of flew by for me, really. Yeah, I really did enjoy the show, and I think was a really good fallout from the Rumble, and we'll see what SmackDown could do this Friday. But yeah, welcome in. We just went through Raw. Chat, any thoughts on Raw tonight? Any hot opinions or anything? I meant to add music, and I forgot. So for SmackDown, for the Q&A section, I'll have to remember to add music. But yeah, it was a nice quick Raw. The recap went faster than I thought. A lot is happening. I'm excited for Mania season. I think it's going to be interesting. Somebody mentioned mommy. Thank you, Animus. Get me a speed one ace. I think Rock Hip was talking about the cards. But yeah. Overall, I think the I think my Mania predictions are still Cody and Cena, and I really think the Jey Uso thing could definitely be the multi-person match. It's very possible. And yeah, that was kind of just the episode of Raw. Trying to think if I just double checking my notes if I missed anything, but nah, I think well, Animus, you don't have to ask something that's just plain Raw. Like I said earlier, if you guys have any questions about anything, even shock wrestling related, I will answer them to the best of my ability. Who do you think botched the Rumble for Drew? I mean, if the Drew thing was even, I mean, there's still a chance that that was a kayfabe story. I think we're gonna find out this Friday. Um, yeah, I mean, all those names have been said. I have even heard Damian Priest's name in there. I don't really care. To be blunt about it, I mean, if it's kayfabe and it's part of a story, cool. If it's not, then you know whatever as well. It is what it is. It doesn't seem like it's affected anything. Nobody got fired or anything. This isn't like an all out brawler situation. It just seems like a really weird situation. But Drew also did this at Survivor Series where he walked out after CM Punk went out, and that just kind of started a kayfabe rivalry. So don't really know what to believe when it comes to that story. So and I don't know, it doesn't really matter either. It's not really something unless they make it into a story. Maybe LA Knight's gonna face Drew for the U.S. title scenario if LA Knight gets the U.S. title back from Nakamura. So it doesn't seem like they're doing anything with Nakamura. I don't really know what that situation was all about. We're probably never gonna truly know. But but yeah, no, I thought overall this was a good wrestler. LA Knight versus Drew would be a pretty cool matchup, actually. Yeah, I mean, both were in TNA at the same time. Part of I think the faction was called the Rising, where it was Drew, LA Knight, and I believe it was Tongaloa was in that faction. Very weird faction. I think it was TNA like circa like 2015, I want to say. Two former TNA world champions as well. It could be an interesting match. The promos would be great. The build up to any kind of promos in that would be really good for LA Knight. Um, yeah, be super interested to see where that goes. You know what I noticed too? They just have nothing for Finn Balor. Like that's a guy who like has so much going for him, and they just don't seem to want to pull the trigger on Finn Balor at all. This is a guy that won the Universal title. on his first main roster match, pretty much, or like his first main roster pay per view match. Gets injured. They just kind of lose faith in him. He comes back, but it's not really the same. And now he's in the Judgment Day. Like, I kind of wish they do more with Finn Balor as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like the Intercontinental title and U.S. titles when it comes to WrestleMania is still really up in the air. I feel like I don't know if both Braun Breaker and Nakamura are going to be the champions going into Mania. I could see either one of those titles dropping as well. Yeah, when it comes to really anything that's not the main event of WrestleMania, it is still super up in the air. Yeah, I kind of wish the Judgment Day would kind of just disband as well. I think it's ran its course. I don't really know what more you do with that. Yeah, especially with everything with like Carlito kind of becoming, you have Carlito being kind of a joke character, and the whole thing with Raquel and Liv. It's kind of overstayed its welcome. I kind of thought the New Day would have a new name as well. It seems like in this new regime here in WWE, they want to keep branding. So a lot of these tag team factions are just kind of sticking around when maybe they really shouldn't be. Uh, you know, maybe it'll get to a point someday where they bring back the NWO or bring back DX because they want to keep all that branding and want to keep selling merch. You don't know. It just feels like, at some point they probably should just run its course. But yeah, to recap though, trying to just double check my notes if I missed anything. But yeah, short Raw. I feel like we're gonna have more stuff to talk about with SmackDown, with that being a 3 hour show. We got through Raw pretty fast. And yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. Just wanted to give all my thoughts on everything, and hopefully we'll have more stuff coming to you. What do you think about the Triple H Hall of Fame induction? Really cool. Well deserved. Way too long. It's crazy that DX got into the Hall of Fame before Triple H got into the Hall of Fame as a solo act, because Triple H did so much beyond DX. So I'm glad it finally happened. Probably if it was up to him, he'd never do it because he's the guy in charge. So it's kind of like giving yourself an award essentially. But no, it's about damn time, as LeBron James would say. It's well deserved. I wish we got to see the full ending, but it glitched. Yeah, what was going on with Netflix? That wasn't just my feed. I guess that was happening for everybody then, if you guys are saying it. Yeah, the Netflix, get your shit together, man. It's I know you're new to live sports Netflix, but you can't do that for the main event of Monday Night Raw. It is the metal beam. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a little concerning. I mean, I'll take that over the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson buffering any day, but I want no problems. I want a smooth stream. I'm trying to watch Raw. Uh, yeah, I found that strange as well. Yeah, Netflix, get it together, man. I really liked the main event too. They did it in a Punk match. That might have been the issue too, is a lot of people were probably watching since it was Punk in a match. As we have learned, the guy's a draw. Since it will air by the time we get to it, what's going on over in AEW? I did hear, I believe Elias joined Ring of Honor. And And I'm trying to see what's quickly gonna go on. Yeah, what's going on Dynamite this Wednesday, just to preview that. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Will Ospreay is going up against a member of the Don Callis family. Don't know who yet. Timeless Tony Storm is taking on Queen Anada. That will be probably a really good match. Swerve versus Ricochet will be on Dynamite as well. Kind of a stacked night for Dynamite. I'll try to give my quick thoughts on that during the SmackDown stream. Yeah, I wonder what member of the Don Callis family Will Ospreay will face. Oh, Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher is going up against the... Oh, now it's the Hounds of Hell, not the House of Black anymore. As Aleister Black is more than likely WWE bound. WrestleMania week is stacked with Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Day 1 and 2, Raw after Mania. Yeah, I'm hyped as a viewer. If I was in Vegas trying to go to those shows, man, my poor bank account. Especially with the WrestleMania prices this year, how is WWE expecting us to buy tickets for like literally it's going for like 2 to 7 grand, like if you want some decent seats, and that's only for WrestleMania, like nights 1 and 2. And beyond that, they want you to go to Raw, they want you to go to SmackDown, they want you to go to NXT. Like it's nuts. But as a viewer, it's great content for us. Yeah, Aleister Black, not confirmed, but kind of confirmed. His contract's coming up with AEW. It might have expired by now, actually, and he is more than likely WWE bound. And yeah, the Vegas stuff is just kind of crazy. It's like I really was thinking about going, and because I never been to Vegas before, so it would have been an excuse to go there. And I looked at the prices, and I'm like, no. Especially if you're adding flights and hotels and food and going to bars. If you're a drinker like me, I like to gamble. I would like to gamble as well. So it's like my bank account would be crying, man. I don't know. Yeah, Aleister Black is more than likely WWE bound, which is very interesting. If you or anybody you know that's going to Mania in Vegas, let me know, because I really want to know. I really want to know your thoughts on that when we do our Mania post game show. But yeah, we've almost reached an hour. If anyone's got any extra questions, I don't have any bits. I don't have any segments, any extra segments or anything tonight. Was just gonna hop on and talk with you guys for a little bit. Let's see. Can I spoil something for Friday Night Strike? That has also been that's also become a new tradition where I figure out, can I spoil the main event for Strike for you guys and give you an exclusive? So Strike would be February 7th. Oh, well, you kind of already know it. It's the Raven versus Ethan Payne for the Outer Rim Championship, which was decided. Next time Mania comes to New Orleans, this is Animus saying this. Next time Mania comes to New Orleans, you can always come crash at my place. I've never been to New Orleans. We'll definitely think about it if Mania is heading to New Orleans next year. I'm gonna watch Mania on my movie theater in my basement. Dude, that's sick. I I have a home theater as well. Best place to watch wrestling. That I love that. A lot of this stuff is already announced for Strike. Actually, I was trying to see if I could spoil something for you guys. Yeah, I can't spoil anything, unfortunately. But that's exciting though. Is that where you're also going to be watching the Super Bowl, Earl? Because I see your profile picture is the NFL logo. I think I mentioned this at the Rumble, and you'll see me again for the SmackDown review, of course. But I'm picking the Chiefs to win. I think the Chiefs win. Let me do a score: 27-20. The Chiefs will defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. That is, you heard it here first. Yeah, I was not about to spend money on those tickets. Yeah, for Vegas, yeah, I do not blame you. Especially, I don't know where you're from, of course, but especially if you're flying and everything like that, like it's just ridiculous. Crazy. But no matter what, Animus, I expect you to go to Mania in New Orleans if it is happening next year. I went to WrestleMania 33 in 2017, and I had a great time. Um, if you are thinking about going to a WrestleMania, it is worth it. It is so much fun. I you're surrounded by the biggest wrestling fans, but in a good way. Because they're from all over the world and they're just happy to be there. You're not really with like smarky people, at least what I interacted. Like I just had a really cool time like talking to different people. I went to WrestleMania Access. I met Dolph Ziggler. I remember. I think I met R Truth that day, and just like waiting in line, talking to people. Like I met some of the sweetest people. Um, it is a good time. I've never been to like a Comic Con or anything before, but I assume it's kind of like that, where if you love that kind of stuff, you're gonna meet a lot of new people, and maybe create some friendships on the way there. Hello, Raven. I was waiting for you to come in. I was explaining the Liv Morgan finish, and we were talking how it's not a good finish, and we kind of blame you, and we think you're behind this. Yeah, the Liv Morgan finish was definitely interesting. Oh yeah, Earl, you're flying across the whole country then. That'd be nuts. But yeah, an interesting Raw. Overall, a solid Monday Night Raw. The Live propaganda, guys. You see that T.J. Baker in the chat. You know who to blame. A year ago, this guy really thought that girl was getting buried. If I even stub my toe, I blame Raven. Well, yeah, you need somebody to curse out to. But in another minute, I will wait till next year maybe. Yeah, a plane to New Orleans would be probably a lot easier than a plane to Vegas. So, if New Orleans is the destination, that's not confirmed yet. I heard rumors that it could even come back to Philly. That'd be great. I went to the Rumble in Mania 2019. How was it like getting out of Mania in 2019? Because that was the one in New York, right? I heard a lot of people had issues leaving the stadium and like getting Ubers and stuff. Yeah, I heard that was a nightmare. I don't know how true this was, but I saw some videos that Indianapolis just was not ready for this kind of event, and there was a lot of people stranded waiting for Ubers and everything, and there was just no cabs or Ubers available. I don't know how true that was. I saw like one video about it. These events are tough. You gotta prepare for it. Two-time runner-up in the Rumble and fell short in the Chamber. Reminds me of somebody else. If New Orleans happens, I may have half the Shark Wrestling lost their sleep. Well, the Animus, did you go to any of the other New Orleans WrestleManias? I mean, if you went to WrestleMania 30, like that would have been a big one to go to. Where was the Rumble in 2019? I'm trying to think. Who won that Rumble? It was Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, I believe. But I have no idea where the venue was. I want to say like Arizona for some reason, because I remember it was at like a baseball stadium. I also could be thinking of 2020 though, because those two Rumbles kind of blend in for me. I heard New Orleans is really fun for WrestleMania though, because that really famous street, I always forget the name, but that night, of course, after the event, it's just filled with wrestling fans. And, like I said, my experience with WrestleMania 33, you're interacting with some really fun people, and it probably is a good time. The next Face the Ace video will be this Wednesday. I would love to tell you the subject, but there will be a Face the Ace video on Wednesday, though. I've made it a goal in 2025 that there will be a Face the Ace video every Wednesday, and I'm trying not to miss it. Not even by procrastination or anything. I just want a good subject. I don't want to just, pick something I'm not interested in. I want something I want to yap about. And here's my thought process so far. I was thinking about watching Sonic 3 today, but I didn't get to it. So if I do end up watching Sonic 3 in the next 24 hours, the video, I was thinking of a retrospective on the Sonic franchise and why it works, because it's probably a franchise that shouldn't work. So possibly look out for that on Ace to Face, because I saw both of the other movies. It was loud after the Becky Lynch match, and people were screaming and watching Paul Heyman reaction to Rollins winning, and watching Kofi was cool. Yes, I remember Rollins kicked off the show, I believe, beating Brock Lesnar. I think I was at a party, and I remember everybody at the party going nuts over that. And yeah, the Kofi Kingston winning is like one of my favorite WrestleMania moments ever. Like it might be like top 5 for me. Like that was, I'm a big Kofi fan. Suggestion for a Face the Ace video: different lightsaber styles would go hard. Yeah, the different forms, that could be cool. There'd be a lot of research, but in a good way. Because I'm not too familiar with the forms, so it'd be a fun research. I'd be learning as I go. I love lightsaber hilts. I've thought about a video doing that, kind of ranking the hilts, or maybe my favorite ones. I don't know. I like stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna reach an hour in like 2 minutes, and I'll probably be wrapping the stream up. But yeah, expect when it comes to content this week. Of course, you got Friday Night Strike, Face the Ace on Wednesday, and Super Bowl Sunday. We will be bringing back Halftime Havoc, which it will be hosted by Mr. Johnny Von Hollywood himself, and I've heard he's got some special co-hosts for the show. I won't spoil anything, but it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm excited for you guys to see Halftime Havoc. It's a lot of fun. For those of you who don't know what Halftime Havoc is, at the literal halftime at the Super Bowl, we're gonna premiere a video that's one match from 2K24, and this year's is really fun, a really fun one. I do love Luke's green lightsaber. Oh, you went to the SmackDown after WrestleMania or before? I guess it'd be the one before. Oh wait, but no. SmackDown was airing at a Tuesday at the time still, I believe. I think that was the SmackDown Live era. I believe so. But yeah, look out for all that stuff, my guys. We got some big stuff coming along. Of course, we're on the road to Mayhem 3, our biggest 2K show of the year. We got the new game 2K25 around the corner. February is kind of our down month before things get crazy in March and April. But I'm excited to. I just want to get that new game. I know JVH made a video about it. I haven't really discussed my thoughts on 2K25. Looks good. The new match types, cool. Underground match sounds cool. The island sounds interesting. As I used to, yeah, I'm not really an NBA 2K fan anymore per se. If the island is what I'm thinking, it's like the park, then it's whatever. The interactive open world park in NBA 2K was really cool when it first came out, and it was really interesting walking around, but it got old really quick. I don't even walk around in the park anymore if I get the new game. So I think that's what the island's gonna pretty much become with 2K in a couple years, where it's gonna be like, oh, it's there, like it's cool. It's a cool game mode, I guess, if you're really into online gaming. And well, that also depends if the online servers work. Do you stream SmackDown? Yes, I will be streaming SmackDown this Friday, reviewing the show, and we'll be doing this all the way up to WrestleMania, and then it all depends how you guys like this show. By then, I think we'll have a lot of cool, different things going on in the show. This is really the test. I kind of was just like, we'll do this till Mania, and if you guys like it, then I'll bring it back. But as for right now, I'm going to do Raw, SmackDown, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. And if anything extra, comes up, if there's an AEW event I really want to talk about, maybe I'll do that. But as of right now, I'm just doing things that are connected to WrestleMania. This is kind of our trial run for any kind of live content. But yes, look out for a SmackDown stream this upcoming Friday, and many more Fridays after. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me, guys. As we got a lot more things coming, and yeah, stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Thank you for having a little ace to face with me, and I will see you all in the next live stream.